Hey guys, welcome back to Just a Geek in the Garage. So today I went to Home Depot and picked up a bunch of the Black Friday Milwaukee stuff that they had advertised. I wasn't planning on buying this much stuff, but I never really am. It's actually kind of interesting. This morning I woke up to an email from Tecton. There was a small engine kit that they were selling that sold out right when they released it a few months ago. It was basically kind of like a quarter-inch, set that was around $90 or so, 95 I think if you chose the flex head versus the regular. But it was something kind of similar to this guy right here. And I almost pulled the trigger, but again, it was like 90 or $95. It's made in Taiwan, and I went back and forth, and I decided, you know what, I already have a very similar set in Icon. Icon's also made in Taiwan, and it was a bit cheaper than that on sale. And so I decided, you know what, I'll just stick with the Icon one that I currently have. And of course, I end the day with buying a bunch of Milwaukee stuff. Very weird for me. I started this year basically with not a lot of Milwaukee, and now I have quite a bit after doing some research for the business that I started. We ended up doing a lot of Milwaukee tools, hand tools, things like that for the business, and it's kind of bled into my personal collection as well. I'm not mad about it, but there's a lot of tools that I've seen in the past that now I'm finally acquiring for myself. So let me kind of get into it for you guys. So if you guys have seen the Black Friday deals that Home Depot is offering, I showed a video, I think it was like a week or two ago, about their buy more, save more, which it's both for their pack outs, but also for a few random kind of hand tools. But today I saw the deals for these socket sets and also their wrenches. So I'm gonna go over. This video is gonna be more of like, I guess, a mini tool haul of the Black Friday stuff, and just kind of go a brief overview, slight unboxing type thing. And then I'll probably do separate videos for each one of these, comparing them kind of to their respective other brands. Things like, if I'm looking at these guys, maybe comparing them to the service kits from Icon and things like that. So let me kind of go over exactly what I got here first, the pricing, and see if this is something you guys would want to pick up for yourself. So the first one that I kind of actually, before I get into this one, let me show you the actual reason why I went to Home Depot. And this is where it kind of got me is, I'm not sure if this is gonna, no, that's not gonna sit. So the reason why I went to Home Depot, and I'll be able to get all this stuff in frame here in a second, but they had their Max Bite wrenches, which I've always heard very good things about, but I never wanted to spend over $100 for a pair or a set of Milwaukee wrenches. But they're on sale for $50. So that's literally why I went to Home Depot, was just to buy those two sets. I was going to spend $100, be done with it. But of course, when you go to Home Depot, it doesn't work that way. At least not for me. So I'll get into those in a second. These are other deals that I happened to see while I was there. And honestly, most of the cardboard cutout kind of display, a lot of it was sold out. And I'll try to insert a picture kind of here, and then maybe at the beginning of the video, just so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about and the deals that they have. But the first one was, again, this deal right here is selling for $49. I think it's normally about $75, so it's about 50% off, which I thought is a pretty good deal for something like this, and a lot less than what that Tecton set would have been. Almost half the price of that Tecton set, and a very, very kind of similar set of tools. And one reason why I didn't buy the Tecton set also is I believe it didn't come with any deep sockets like the service set from Icon does. And then this one I went back and forth on, and I just decided to pull the trigger because why not? This set is normally $200. It's on sale for $119 right now, and it comes, it's a 3/8 set, comes with the shallows, the deeps, metric, standard. And the one thing I've always seen about these Milwaukee sockets, I've never had any before, but this part has always kind of intrigued me, is the 4 flat sides. The fact that you can put a wrench on there, I thought was always kind of cool. And so let's kind of get into these just real quick. Let's go over the boxes, and then we'll look at the actual tools. So looking at the quarter-inch set first, so right there is 25 pieces, comes with a quarter-inch ratchet, comes with a 3-inch extension, 23 sockets with the anti-roll, which everything shows right here, anti-roll and wrench ready. And then it's a 90 tooth gear set on the inside. And then this kind of gives you a breakdown of the back. And then let me see if you can kind of see Right here are going to be the standard sockets. You can pause and look at that if you want. And then also the metric sockets right there, extension and box. And then let's go over the 3/8 one. I mean, very, very similar. The main difference here is that you're going to get the deeps as well. But same thing, comes with a ratchet. This one also comes with a universal and 2 different sizes of extensions. Again, deeps and shallows. 90-tooth design, anti-roll, wrench ready, same thing. And then again on the back here, you're going to kind of see right here, 3/8 ratchet, the standard size SAE sockets, the standard metric sockets, deep well SAE, deep well metric, and then the 3-inch and 6-inch extension, universal, and the removable tray, which is kind of cool. All I did was kind of take these out of the package and take the plastic off. I actually haven't even taken any tools out to almost do like a little bit of a kind of an unboxing. So I don't really even have an impression of these guys yet. So we can kind of look at this thing together. So let's kind of start off here with the 1/4-inch one. So right here we got the little 1/4-inch ratchet. Actually, it looks like it's it's fairly slim design right here on the head. The mechanism sounds very nice, very similar almost to the kind of the Gen 1 icons, but it feels like there's a lot less. Let's take a look here. A lot less back drag. So definitely seems like it would be a solid ratchet to use right here. And then let's grab the famous 10mm. So we got this guy right here. These almost seem, and I could be wrong, they're almost closer to like a semi-deep than a regular shallow socket, at least to my eye. I could be wrong, but I could probably grab, let me see, do I have a regular socket here somewhere? This is just a very basic socket, very basic 10mm, kind of a no-name. But yeah, so it's almost more of like a semi-deep, which is kind of cool. So maybe you don't really need the deeps with this 1/4-inch set. And what they were talking about is this whole piece kind of comes out. You can just put this in your toolbox, so this isn't taking up a bunch of space. The only thing is I don't think that this is pack out ready. This is, I think, more designed for the home gamer, more so than somebody that's going to be using pack out. But cool little case. It's very, very kind of slim, which is nice. For $50, I honestly think this is a great deal, especially for someone just kind of tossing the car that works on kind of smaller things. I think this is it's a great deal for $50, and it's going to be even cheaper, obviously, than the Icon set. But the Icon does come with the deep sockets as well. But hey, for what you're getting, I think $50 is a pretty good deal. Next up, this one. Again, this is normally $200. It's on sale for $119 right now. And yeah, it comes with your, and all this comes with a lifetime guarantee. And then one thing I know I always get asked about where things are made, and I believe this was the ratchets are made in Taiwan and the sockets are made in China. So, that's information if you guys, care about where it's made. But, these sockets look really, really nice to me. They're a, deep 10mm right there, has that square design. Again, these deep ones seem, a little bit deeper than a typical deep socket. Ooh, that was the 11mm. 11mm, sorry. There's a 10 right there. So, yeah, I mean, this seems like a great little set. Let's check out the ratchet. And same thing, it seems like a little bit lower profile than a lot of the ones out there. Probably not the lowest in the industry, but, still not too bad. I kind of like the overall shape of it. It's sometimes I prefer just these kind of chrome handles over the comfort grip. But, that's more of a personal preference than anything else. But again, like I said, when I went and I saw the display for both of these guys, it was getting pretty empty. And I want to say they just launched today. So pretty crazy that it's going this fast. But I think that speaks to the deal that they're having. So let's get both of these guys out of the way. Sorry for the noise. And let's get the wrenches over here. Because, again, this is literally the reason why I went there today. And I ended up with everything else that we just saw. So again, if you guys are familiar with, Milwaukee wrenches, let me kind of go a little bit closer here, if that's okay with you guys. There we go. So when I went to see this, the display was almost completely empty when it comes to the wrenches specifically. I grabbed the last metric one right here that they had, and there was 2 more of the SAE other than this one. So looks like it was going to be slim pickings. Hopefully they restock here before the holidays, but who knows? And I'm not sure. I haven't even checked if you can get these things online yet, or if it's exclusive in store. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go just straight to the metric, since that's what I use the most. Although whenever I buy a tool set, you know, I kind of a sucker and buy metric and SAE just in case, because you kind of never know. And I'm just going to grab kind of a random one. You know, I use the 15 and 17 a lot in metric for the things that I end up using. But, you know, I kind of looked at these a little bit right before the video just because I had to kind of cut these things out of their display. But, you know, when I saw these guys, it kind of reminds me a bit of the Mac tools, the RBRTs, and also a little bit of the Snap-on V-Series. They have kind of that similar design right here. They feel like you can really kind of put some torque on them without really hurting your hands because they're very, very rounded right here, which is nice. And then you can see right here that max bite design, so almost kind of like the Flank Drive Plus when it comes to Snap-on, but it definitely looks a bit more aggressive, you know, on here. And then you got that right there. And then this, you know, I don't have enough experience with this to see. I'm assuming this is a 12-point design, not a 6-point with the bite on there, but I could be wrong. And let's see actually what it says right here. Maybe that'll answer our questions. So there you go, anti-slip open head right there, decreased fastener rounding, and then comfortable I-beam design. So again, very, very similar to the RBRTs and the Craftsman. And I'm just going to take a quick look at the back here without hopefully dropping everything. Give me 1 second, guys. And this one is made in Taiwan. So, you know, I'm sure this is going to be something similar to in quality to like the Icon anti-slip on there. As with the metric, at least it's almost almost no skip. The only one it skips is the 9mm, which is kind of a shame. It would have been nice if they would have added just that one extra, but it goes 8, 10, and then all the way to 19 with no skips up there. And then, oops, sorry for that sound. And then as far as the SAE, you know, everything on the packaging says basically the same thing. And this one comes with, let's take a look and see if I can, they're actually written in red, which is cool, but kind of hard for me to read. So it looks like we've got 1/4 inch, 5/16, 7, is that 7/30 seconds? Or 11/30 seconds. Oh, sorry, that's 11/30 seconds, 3/8, 7/16, 1/2 inch, 9/16, 5/8, 11/18, 3/4, and 7/8. Shows you how much I use actual, you know, SAE. Again, I do like to buy them just to kind of have, you know, a full set of everything. So again, today it was just kind of more of a video to show what they have, and you know, maybe you guys should, you know, go out there and see if you can grab some of these deals before they are gone for the holidays. Again, it's $50 for each one of the wrench sets, and I believe these ones are normally, it said they were normally I think $120 on sale for $50. The 1/4 inch set was normally $75 on sale for $50, and then the big 3/8 set that I showed was normally $200 on sale for $119. Honestly, those are kind of, you know, Icon pricing when Icon's at 40% off. So I think they're a pretty good deal, especially for a name brand like Milwaukee. And then just kind of a special mention, I also picked up this guy right here. Reminds me of the Kobalt version of this that I have. Add this kind of to my, you know, my 1/4 inch type sets of tools, and maybe I'll do another video about that here in the future. And this thing was on sale for $19.97. I believe it was normally like $25 or $30. Just kind of, that one was more of an impulse purchase. So tell me, what do you guys think? Are you guys going to go and grab any of these Milwaukee tools that I just said? You think they're a good deal at what I paid for them, or did I overpay for, you know, what they are, especially considering, you know, none of the stuff is made in the USA. But, you know, usually when we're looking at tools that are not made in the USA, you know, a Taiwanese tool is, you know, not usually that bad in quality. And a lot of different companies make their tools in Taiwan, you know, even like, you know, Mac and things like that. So, again, leave your comments down below. Tell me, what do you guys think? And as always, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe.